Stories about ghosts and spirits seem to be as old as humanity itself and continue to endure into the modern day. So it isn't all that surprising that video games have made their own ghost stories to create creepy interactive experiences. That's why I thought it'd be interesting to talk about one of the most iconic ghost games. Fatal Frame, or Project Zero as it's known outside of North America, is based on a true story. Or at least, it's based off of real-life Japanese urban legends and the creator's own supposed experiences with ghosts. Also, the North American cover sucks. Seriously, what the hell were they thinking with this design? Sure, the awkwardly placed disembodied head grabs your attention, but not for the right reasons. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but that doesn't mean first impressions aren't important. I definitely prefer the Japanese and European covers. The game's story takes place in 1986 and follows a girl named Miku Hinasaki. One night, her brother Mafuyu came to the supposedly haunted Humidor mansion in search of his folklorist friend Junsei Takamine, who had gone missing along with his research team. When Mafuyu failed to return home, Miku began the search for her brother. Honestly, I think she's either a lot braver than me, or a lot stupider. Maybe even both. Because if I were in her shoes, I'd be saying, "Sorry bro, but I can recognize a pattern when I see one." I think it's safe to say that anyone who steps into that place is definitely a goner. And if I did decide to visit an obviously suspicious mansion, I sure as hell would bring more than just a flashlight. Luckily for her, she found her late mother's camera in the mansion, the same one her brother brought with him on the night of his disappearance. This becomes the key to her survival, and to uncovering the secrets behind the haunted abode. Like many survival horror games, Fatal Frame has you exploring a creepy location and solving puzzles, all while you try to avoid getting killed. In this case, the enemies are after you are ghosts that are haunting the mansion. The setting provides a spooky and suspenseful atmosphere, which also includes various notes you'll find scattered throughout. These writings tell the history of the people who stepped into here, as well as the gruesome rituals that took place many years ago. Not only that, but even the more normal environments are frightening to explore. Many of the locations are almost completely dark, leaving only the light from your flashlight to help you find your way. And was that blood in the water I just saw? And now it's gone. Jump scares are pretty frequent, but I think they're used quite effectively with their variety. For example, you'll be going about your business when suddenly... Hi there! There's also more subtle ones that'll catch you off guard, and might suddenly make you stop in your tracks. It helps that the general eerie atmosphere is just as important to the horror aspect as the jump scares. Your camera plays a large part in finding your way through the mansion. In order to solve certain puzzles, you'll need to take photos of particular objects and locations. These photos will reveal secrets such as hidden objects, as well as ways to unlock sealed passageways. Many of the puzzles aren't very difficult, and many of them involve finding the correct location to unlock the way you need to go. There's a lot of backtracking involved with this, which can sometimes get a bit tedious. Overall though, it's not too bad, especially since the mansion isn't hard to navigate. Of course, the presence of various ghosts is a huge part of the scare factor. They're damn near invisible, which can make them difficult to avoid if you're not constantly on alert. Sometimes the best way to know when there's a ghost is to look at the indicator at the bottom right of the screen. The brighter the orange, the closer you are to the ghost. You also have to be aware of their movement patterns, as well as their vocal cues for when they're about to attack. While the voice acting as a whole isn't that great, being wooden more often than not, the voices of the ghosts can be downright chilling. There are even ghosts of children, who also died horrific deaths, which is just pleasant. That's when your camera also serves as your weapon by taking photos of the ghosts. It's not camera shyness they're harmed by. The camera actually has special exorcism capabilities. In order to damage the ghost, you need to center them into the blue circle. The longer you hold the ghost within the center, the more damage you inflict, and the more spirit points you'll earn. For extra camera carnage, you can take a shot during special shutterbug moments, such as when you're very close to a ghost that's about to attack. You can also spend the spirit points you've accumulated on upgrades for your camera. Different kinds of film you'll find serve as your ammo, with varying levels of attack power. If you're running low on film, you could go to a save point in order to replenish your standard Type 14 film. The combat system is definitely a challenge, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. Some people didn't find it too hard, and more power to them, but there's also plenty of people who agree that shooting ghosts can be quite difficult. Not only are their ghosts hard to see, but their attacks can be brutal, and there aren't very many healing items to be found. While letting the ghost linger in your focus will cause more damage, it can also be a bit of a gamble. A lot of the times you'll be running around trying to keep a safe distance, take a quick moment for a shot, then rinse and repeat. Good luck if you find yourself in a tight space. Despite some frustrations though, I really did enjoy the combat. You always have to be aware of your enemies, which will put you on edge as a horror game should. Using the camera as an exorcism device weapon is an interesting concept too, especially with the real-life stories of spirits supposedly being caught on film. Fatal Frame to this day remains an icon of gaming horror, and it's easy to see why. The atmosphere is appropriately haunting, and the camera mechanic gives a very unique horror experience. While the puzzles aren't too challenging, the camera combat is definitely where the game shines. If you haven't played it yet, this is definitely not one to pass up on. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to click like, and subscribe if you want to see more.